welcome back to IGN Live at E3 2019. This summer, the Wolfenstein series returns to let us liberate an alternate history 1980s from evil. Here to tell us more is Bethesda Ulrich Gustafsson and IGN's Lucy O'Brien. Hello, thank you for joining us.
Hello, thank you.
So, Wolfenstein has obviously been around for quite some time, but if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time you guys are bringing co-op to the series. Why now?
We were thinking about doing something new because we have been basically doing the same story-driven linear experience since for almost 20 years, ever since we did Riddick and then The Darkness, and then it goes from there, right? So it's a way for us to explore something new for the studio as well as a team.
What does that co-op look like?
It is
Actually play.
It is a two-player co-op, so we're taking one small step towards the online, but it is a drop-in, drop-out. So you can play the game as by yourself, and then your friend can drop in after a while, or you can start together from the beginning as well.
So you're choosing between playing as either Jess or Soph, who are BJ Blazkowicz and Anya's twin daughters. Now, but we don't start with them as babies. That would be, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't put it past you guys to have us play babies just killing Nazis.
It would be very Wolfenstein.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I was going to say,
yeah, we
you
should
wouldn't
have
do
done
that,
that.
but that would have been very Wolfenstein. But why did you decide to make the time jump? And we're entering, are they 19 or 20, correct?
They are actually 18.
18.
Yeah.
I was really close. But why did we skip the first 18 years of their lives?
It is because we wanted, like I said, we want to do something new. We want to do co-op. We also have already established that BJ and Anya was gonna get twin daughters, so it just made perfect sense.
Yeah.
And that's also what the title refers to with Youngblood. This is the the next generation of Nazi killers. So, and we already knew they were going to be twin daughters as well. So it made sense. It made perfect sense.
Yeah.
It also meant you got to play with a 1980s setting. So tell us about that and how you've kind of had fun with that. Because I've always sort of thought Wolfenstein and the 80s go together really well.
Right.
It's all about excess.
No, we that was a good bonus for us then when we decided to do the twin daughters, and the 80s is. It's pretty fun. So we have drawn a lot of inspiration from movies like The Goonies, etc. So it's been there's a lot of 80s reference in there, and we have our art director and the art team has done some really cool stuff.
So you mentioned The Goonies. Were there any other films that were touch points for this game?
Our art director Axel is a very big Carpenter fan, so there's a lot of references to Escape from New York and The Thing in those movies as well.
I'm so excited. I'm excited just to enter the universe again, but the fact that it's in the 80s is just like so great. So I would love to know what your brainstorming sessions look like, because I feel like everything with Wolfenstein, you're like, okay, this makes sense. Like, I have guns and killing Nazis, and then it just kind of like blasts off into space, literally sometimes. Like, how do you guys decide where to just go crazy?
We sit in a room together. We have done the same thing over our entire careers. We get together in the beginning. We think about what we want to do, what story we want to tell, and then we try to get a lot of these crazy ideas into the mix, just to make it a big adventure, not only. But to be honest, it's a bit different now because we are at the same location. The entire Youngblood game is only in Paris. So we're not going to the moon this time, or to Venus, but there will still be a lot of nice locations to explore.
Can we expect, with that in mind, that kind of off-the-wall brand of extreme absurdity to return in this game?
There will always be some of it, but we also try to bake in also a lot of this dark humor into our stories as well. So you will see a lot of that as well. And the sisters have a great personality, which I really think come through well in the game.
Which I think that's the perfect point to ask about. When you're choosing between Jess and Soph, how does the gameplay differ?
To be honest, it doesn't really differ. You do get to select in the beginning if you want to play as Jess or Soph, and you do start with a loadout, in terms of what weapons you want to use in the beginning of the game. But they are twins and they are equally proficient in many ways. So it's also for the reason that you can join your friend later on, right? And then you will bring everything over. So even if you start with different loadouts, you will be able to get all of that, those abilities and weapons later on in the game as the other sister as well.
Gotcha, that's nice. So it's not like if you make a decision, you're kind of blocking off an experience for yourself.
No, we're not. And you know, it's all about having fun together, shooting and killing Nazis.
Can you talk a little bit to the sisters' various personalities and how they differ from one another?
Yes, Jess is more the like the dreamer, more an idealist, and she also has this dream of becoming a writer. And then we have no, that's actually Soph. I'm sorry. And Jess is more of this realist and very competitive. So especially when she competes against her sister.
So you make the decision in the beginning. I would assume in the beginning you just choose which character you want to play at. That's usually how games go. But are you locked into that character for the entirety of your run?
Yes, you are. But you can also, of course, you know, start a new save slot with the other sister. But you are locked to. But of course, if you join as a client and the player you join is the same sister as you, then you switch over to the other sister.
Let's talk a little bit about level design. You obviously worked with IGN on this title. That's really interesting. So it's less of a linear adventure this time around.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, tell me a little bit about what the world is like.
It's actually a very, very different game than the ones we have done before. This is the first time we do this non-linear experience. We do have a beginning of the game where it's more linear during the tutorial part of it, and then you get to the world hub, and then the game opens up. So and then from there you can do missions in any order you want. So it's a big difference for us as a team, actually. It's also a big difference for this game is very different compared to our other games, which is worth pointing out.
What was the decision making behind that? Why did you want to mix it up?
It's part of the co-op aspect. You know, we want to try something new as a team, and that's all part of that. It's not only the non-linearity as well. It's also and the co-op. It's also we have level progression for the character for the very first time as well. So there's a lot of new things that we're doing with this game, and it's been very exciting. And working with the IGN guys has of course been of tremendous value for us. They are really, really good.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, Wolfenstein Youngblood does come out July 26th of this year.